Governor Siminalayi Fubara is back in office. But what led to this dramatic intervention? What does it mean for democracy, federalism, and the rule of law in Nigeria? We unpack the crisis, the constitutional implications, and the road ahead. But let's take a look at the timeline of events. Now, the end of the emergency rule followed lots of peace meetings behind the curtains between the governor and his predecessor, alongside other members of the State House of Assembly. Critics call the emergency rule in the state an executive overreach, while supporters called it a necessary rescue mission. But who really won? Join us this morning for this very important discussions are founder and CEO of TAF Africa, Dr. Jake Epelle, Rivers PDP chieftain Collins Ordu, and public affairs analyst Professor Simeon Nnah. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. It's great to have you all. Join us this morning for this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Great having us.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Morning. Now I'd like to start with Professor Simeon Nnah with us in the studio here in Lagos. What's your take on the return and the manner in which the duly elected governor has returned to office in Rivers State? What do you make of the entire 6 months suspension and state of emergency in Rivers State?
We've stated time without number that the president had no right to remove an elected governor. As much as he has the right to declare a state of emergency, he's not a principal that at his whims and caprices will suspend a teacher because he's acting as if he's a principal and the governors are teachers. They were elected just as the governor was elected. That's the way he was elected. So if they declare a state of emergency in Nigeria now, shall we remove the president? These are the questions that need to be answered. You know, there were a lot of illegalities that one cannot contend with. Take, for instance, the elected governor conducted a local government election, and the Supreme Court said that the mandatory 90 days were not allowed, so they cancelled that election. An aberration, what did they call him? An administrator that has no place in the Constitution did not give up to 40 days. And he conducted an election, and everywhere kept quiet. The court even said he can go ahead with that election. What kind of banana republic is this? I don't understand where we're headed, because things must be done the proper way. Now, I've said the time without number. In this so-called democracy that we are operating, we only have the executive functioning. Are you aware? Even the president alluded to that fact yesterday. There were over 40 cases against the federal government on the suspension of the governor. None of the cases were heard because the courts, the judges, were looking at the body language of the president. Because he's just the president and no other person. Recall that even when the emergency was declared, the president declared the emergency before going to the House. What do you expect? The National Assembly that will sing, "On your mandate we shall stand." So, we just have the executive, and the others are appendages of the executive. He just gives them directives, and they do what he wants. So, I think going forward, we have to change this trajectory. I don't understand the kind of democracy we run. Maybe that's what Fela alluded to. What we are running now is what Fela alluded to. The late Fela, Adekunle Kuti, said, what we have is demonstration of grace. I think that's what's going on.
All right.
Not democracy.
I mean, you've expressed how you feel about what took place in River State, but let's now bring in the men who actually are joining us live from the state, where many have said there's going to be pomp and pageantry, celebration in the air, excitement, mixed reactions. We do not know which they are actually feeling now. Let me bring in a PDP member of the state. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Collins Ordu. Can you shed light on how the residents or the people of the state are feeling, especially knowing that their duly elected governor is making a comeback after 6 months? And how are you feeling too, Mr. Collins?
Thank you for having me. Before I go into that, I'd like to correct an impression by our speaker there, who is live with you. It's unfortunate we have gone past where and what he's talking about now. The legality of the president's action are there contained in section 305 of the Constitution, but that's not where we are right now. If you look at my fellow colleague there, Dr. Jake, you will see his face. He's beaming with joy. There is unprecedented happiness in Rivers State now that the president has, in his magnanimity and goodwill and resolve, or his resolve to make peace in the country, has returned us to civil rule. It has not been easy. The road was quite a rough one, but now Rivers people everywhere go to government house now. Feeders we're getting from the radio is that people are in government house from both divides. What we need now is peace and how to navigate into making the dividends of democracy available to Rivers people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ordu. I'd like to bring in Dr. Jake Epelle into the conversation. Dr. Epelle, Honorable Ordu described your feelings and reactions this morning as beaming with joy and unprecedented excitement. Can you tell us how you feel this morning, knowing that you've been on top of the situation for the last 6 months and finally Governor Fubara is back? And also, the governor you have in Rivers State Government House today, is it the same person that was suspended 6 months ago?
Well, you see, I'm sandwiched in between two great minds. Just sandwiched in between two of them. And truly, I'm always a happy person. So here's my happiness. Democracy has won. And I've always said that democracy will win if we all fight for it. And so for me, what the analyst in the studio said, he is right. What my brother in Port Harcourt said is right. Right now, I want to treat this matter as no victor, no vanquish. Can we move the state forward? Because these elephants that are fighting, it is the grass that is suffering, and the grass is a metaphor for the people. I am passionate about the people. I am passionate about moving the state forward. Yes, there's been ills. Yes, there's been unconstitutionality. There are illegalities, but there's no perfect situation. Can we move the state forward? How is Fubara? Is he the same person? I can't get into his head. I haven't spoken to him. Mind you, for conflict of interest, I've always said I'm from Opopo, so he's my kinsman. I have not spoken to him. I've not called. However, I think in every leadership trajectory, the person involved will learn a lesson. He will either learn a lesson that will make him or a lesson that will mar him. I think Fubara, I want to believe, have learned a lesson, and he will use the learning curves to move the state forward. Right now, if I were to be in his mind, if I were to be him, I will work hard to bring the states together. There's going to be post-Fubara problem, and those post-Fubara problem is that whether anybody likes it or not, there are groups that will still stand up and challenge what has happened. There are groups that will stand up and ask this Ibok to account for every money he has spent that belongs to Rivers State. That will not be wished away. It will not be washed away. There are groups that will stand up and challenge the legality of these elected local government council chairmen. So there's going to be myriad of problems. However, this is where leadership comes in. The body language of the governor, the body language of FCT minister, both of them, how they play out will determine the confidence that they can instill or suck from the people. And I think both of them principally have a huge role to play. The moment Wike comes on board and start acting the godfather, it will create more problem. The moment Fubara comes on board and start acting like a stooge, he will create more problem. There needs to be balance. I want to believe that he should be allowed to govern the state. He's going to have problem convincing all camps. Right now, celebration is one thing, but what is in the mind of the celebrants? Are they truly, really? There's been too many rifts. It will take a lot to correct and to earn trust. But everybody concerned should know that the people are more important than the persons. The people, the office, is more exalted than individual interest. So let's allow my people that have suffered so much, that have seen trauma, that have seen injustice, that have seen a slap on their face. Please, let's allow the people to rest and to have confidence that their state is back in their hands.
All right.
I would want to strongly suggest that we tone down the rhetorics and just allow peace to reign. Yes, there are precedents that they have set up that it will take hundreds of years to correct. There are laws that have been totally wiped out that it will take hundreds of years to correct. I think I would like to say and call on the speaker that please, this is not the time for shenanigans. But Fubara is humble. He too should learn humility and work with him to move the state forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jake. Let's come back to the studio very quickly and let's get your thoughts, Dr. Nnah, on the aspect of bringing the governor back 6 months after and the response that we did get from our other guests who have joined us virtually. They've said that accountability must be met, especially with Dr. Jake. Looking at the accountability aspect, how much has been spent, monies that were spent. The sole administrator had taken up the role of the governor of the state, so he was able to disburse and get the approvals and go ahead. Do you think that should actually be looked into accountability as he leaves office?
Well, naturally, you can't run an office without accountability. But I think he has delivered the accounts to the president that appointed him, because he who pays the piper dictates the tone. Now, if you are going into probing his account in the office, you will create another problem. There's going to be another mirage of problems, yes, because the entrenched interests will now want to protect him. Because you can agree with me that he was not acting in vacuum. He had powers above that were, guiding everything he was doing. He was
do you
getting
mean the
approval.
National Assembly? Because there was a committee of the National Assembly.
Well, the National Assembly, the President, the Wike, all of them combined, jointly and severally, were, empowered to ensure that the man takes the right route. And let me correct the impression that the other man wanted to correct. what I said, and I stand by it, and that's the constitutional provision, so I don't know what is correcting. The Constitution gives the president the power to declare a state of emergency. There is no aspect of that Constitution that gives the president the power to remove a governor. I stand to be corrected on that. So I don't know what is correcting. That is the position of the law. So he didn't have the right to remove the governor, but he had the right to declare a state of emergency. Now, Dr. Epelle was saying something that was germane. It's a no-brainer that today, what is required in Rivers State is peace. So what I expect is that the governor should hold a meeting with the 27 so-called defected lawmakers, and so that they can be on the same page. Now, for now, he needs to...
Don't you think they would have done that before? It's late in the day.
No.
Doing that.
No.
As part of their reconciliation, they were all in Abuja when Mr. President
You
called
see,
them.
some of these reconciliations at times are decisions in the graveyard. Now that the deed is done, this is the right time to come out and look at the rat tags, look at the nitty-gritty of what they are going to do, and they now go forward with it. So those ones that were done then were done with the benefit of hindsight. But right now, that's when the action is. So they'll begin to share powers. They'll begin to share whatever they have, and then people will come out with what they want. And then a truce will be reached. So that at the end of the day, this trajectory of, we are not going to do this, we will do this, and the court confusing everybody will not be there any longer, because the court has actually confused everybody in this
by refusing to
take decisions when they are supposed to do.
Okay, I'd like to bring in Honourable Collins Ordu into the conversation. Two questions for you, sir. Number one, given everything that Governor Siminalayi has been through in the last 6 months, do you think he can effectively govern Rivers State? And knowing that also, the second leg of my question is this. You're a member of the People's Democratic Party. There's been a wave of defection, especially around the South region. The governor of Delta State, the governor of Cross River State has also decamped to the APC. And the PDP in the state has warned Governor Siminalayi Fubara not to even entertain the thought of moving to the APC. Do you see him staying within the ranks of the PDP or decamping? And what would you, what's your take on these two questions? Can he govern effectively? Do you see him decamping to APC?
Thank you very much. The governor will govern effectively. Just like my colleague from Abuja said, he has learned his lessons. He has known the difference between motivational speakers and actual events on ground. So now we expect the governor to govern very well. Let me also tell my colleague at the studio there that the issue of emergency rule is a constitutional issue. And then the fact that he was talking about removing a governor, if you declare a state of emergency, it automatically removes power from the governor to whoever is appointed to administrate the state. So these things are given. It's not as if because the president mentioned it that he's suspended and the House of Assembly suspended. They don't want the clash of somebody coming up to say, look, I still remain the governor. For effective governance of the administrator, that is why those languages are used. These things are constitutional issues. And they're talking about probing the 6 months administration of the administrator. These are given. Probing is part of our constitution. Everybody has to give an account. So let's not chase shadows. Let's concentrate with this little time I have now for us to chart a new course for the governor, admonishing him to stop listening to motivational speakers and face the reality on ground, face Rivers people and give them what they want. And that is what I think they have done before they settled to this point where we have gotten to. Most of those who speak on televisions don't know how this peace was brokered. I know that they know the direction they are going, and let us give them the chance to navigate and deliver democracy, dividends of democracy to Rivers people. That is what we are praying for them.
All right, Ordu, just to clarify very quickly, because our guest in-house doesn't agree with the fact that, with the statement you made, that you could actually remove a governor while declaring a state of emergency. We might want to possibly review what the Constitution says, because if you look at the Constitution, clearly under Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, there it says, as amended, that under the Emergency Powers Act 1961, it does not enable or vest with the power to remove a governor in a state or a state of emergency is when a state of emergency is declared. So you can't declare a state of emergency. That's what our Constitution says, but you cannot remove the governor. I know we may have been beaten by what happened in 1999 under President Olusegun Obasanjo during Plateau State, where, I mean, many have said he had a military background. That's why he was able to go as far as, calling a state of emergency, also removing the then governor then. But we just want to ensure that we balance these things carefully while we discuss this. But we also get the point that we need to move on from here and discuss the way forward for Rivers State as we speak. So I want to show us a clip on what the people of Rivers State are saying. And we'll take this clip, we'll come back. I'd like to get your reactions, Honorable Ordu, as well as Dr. Jake, before we come back to the studio. Let's take a look.
My reaction naturally would be that I should be happy, but first of all, there are mixed feelings for which this state of emergency was declared, and for the fact that the governor and the legislative arm have been called back, Rivers people and indigents are happy, and we strongly believe that whatever it is, we are back to a democratic setting, and that is actually good for Rivers people and Rivers State.
They pray for God since that time, say make sin come back. And the God don't answer my prayer. I thank God that sin will come back. The governor. And those assembly members that once defected, they should come back and work together. This is Nigeria. Anything can go. It's okay. Let them just allow Sim to do the good things, the good work he was doing before they interrupted it. Sincerely, Sim did good things in Rivers State.
Exciting persons is relative. Them coming back, it's a good thing for the state because it will bring about stability, especially in the economy of Rivers State. But on the other hand, these are still politicians. They are not different from the ones that were there before.
Okay, that's just one part of the reactions from the people of Rivers State. A cross-section, you could tell, different age, background, and you could say personalities. But let me come to you, Dr. Jake. Now that the governor is coming back, of course, with the same lawmakers, do you foresee the possibility of getting back on track, rebuilding the state and getting it back to where he had left off? Or do you foresee forces that are beyond him dictating what he should do, having looked at the situation that brought us here today?
Yeah, Joe, I should have started by thanking you for national service that you're embarking on, because I know you on leave and you had to come back. Thank you so much. Listen, like I said, categorically clear, there's going to be, let's not pretend, it will be foolhardy of anyone to think it's going to be an easy road, because politicians will remain politicians. And some of these individuals are not to be trusted. They have made themselves so. Because trust is not given, trust is earned. And so if they truly come out and smile and mean a smile from their heart and work together with Sim, I think we will move the state forward. I know Sim to an extent, because I say to an extent because if I met him yesterday, that's the extent I know him. He can change today. However, Sim is a very simple person with a heart for people. If they truly mean well and are willing to work with him, he will work with them. You know, but if they start acting like they have the carrot and the knife and showing ill motive, because some of them, truth be told, are eyeing the seat of governor. They do. So if they still have that mindset that they can ruffle wet feathers and then remove him to replace him, it's going to be very difficult. And it will be very difficult for them to succeed. But the impact will be so much on the people. Please, my dear politicians of Rivers State, empathize with the people. We brought you on board to give us good governance. Give us good governance. We brought you on board to manage our resources. Don't steal it. Don't siphon it. Use it to work for the people. We brought you on board to ensure peace and security and prosperity of the state. That should be the focus. Sim will have to do a lot of work to rebuild the confidence of the people, even in the other camp, because many of them have made themselves not to be trusted. Incidentally, what is going on for Sim is that the people love him. Although he has to explain a lot of things and a lot of decisions he has made, but he can still win back the people because he is people-oriented and I think he wants to work to be remembered, you know. And that's what happens, Joe, when people choose position over purpose. You abuse the purpose because position gets into your head. Purpose should be in your heart. And so I keep saying it and sometimes move to tears. Our people have suffered enough. Some of the people that even speak on behalf of Rivers State, you know, create the problem are not from Rivers State. Look at how we have messed up for somebody who is not from the state to come and, you know, come administer the resources of the state. If you probe him, he can never be said to be very absolutely, totally clean. It's not possible. And so, for me, I also don't want, like the guests in the studio say, oh, we shouldn't. Ibob must account for the money that was given to him to administer the state. And this is the problem in this country. We keep thinking that, oh, just leave the thing, let it lie low. It won't lie low because another person will pick up from there and do the same thing and slap the people and feel that nothing will happen. This concept of heaven will not fall is taking us to hell, and we choose not to go. You can't tell me to go to hell and expect me to look forward to going to hell. That is evil. I will not. So Igbo must account for the money that he has spent, and that account must be made public. You know, it's not witch hunting. It's part of good governance. Accountability is part of a responsible leadership, and it should not be discouraged. They should tell us what they've done with our resources, who spent it, who had it, the contracts that we're giving, the project that they did, and how much was those projects, you know, and have those projects been truly executed? It's disheartening how these politicians will do all that they do, and the next thing they do is show up in church. Do they know God? Do they fear God? Do they think that God doesn't see them and know where they have kept all that they have stolen? Crooked politicians will always be crooked politicians. Unfortunately, professionals are coming into them and using the same intelligence that they have learned to manipulate and stiffen the people. But listen, the Rivers man is resilient. The Rivers man is civil, but we are smart. And you cannot outsmart us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jake Epelle. I would like to bring in Honorable Collins Ordu back into the conversation. The feelers from, the grapevine and analysts feel this is a sort of graveyard piece, that it's cosmetic. I'm asking you if you're confident that, this piece will last for long and that Rivers State will get back to effective governance and the governor will work amicably with the State House of Assembly going forward.
Yes, I would still like to borrow the words of Dr. Jake Epelle. He said that we should give the governor the benefit of the doubt and that we should encourage them. Yes, we need to encourage them. The peace will last. It is a peace gotten out of experience. He has learned his lessons. Every one of us as stakeholders have learned our lessons and have known where the mistakes come from. So going forward, let me please use this opportunity to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has done this in Ordu State. He brokered peace, and it is subsistence now. He has done so in Lagos. It is subsisting, and he has now done it in Rivers State. Rivers State cannot be different. Let me also thank the various actors and participants in this unwarranted, unexpected imbroglio. I want to thank especially our leader, Chief Barrister Somwike, the FCT Minister, the Speaker, and the members of the House of Assembly. The Governor, I must thank him so much for them to have thought of making peace. It is not easy, but going forward, Rivers people will begin to benefit. Then let me slightly talk about the constitutionality of what has transpired. Section 305, which I quoted before, has as a pointer to the fact that emergency rule is constitutional. Then two, like I said, two, probing of the past 6 months is constitutional. It is implied, it is expected, but let us not chase shadows. Let the governor not come in now and begin to chase shadows. We have lost 6 months, not only 6 months, the periods before the conflict can also be added. We've lost a lot. So I think that what is paramount for now is for him to chart a course to recover these few months that has been lost before you begin to think of side tractions. So that is my own advice. So I think that we should begin to profile solutions on how the governor and all the gladiators will work effectively and deliver the dividends of democracy. Therein, everybody should sheet the sword and then focus on Rivers State. Rivers people are the highest beneficiaries of this imbroglio. Like my brother, I agree with him. So let us make Rivers people proud and be happy that we are in power. I'm a member of the PDP, the governor is a member of the PDP, and we want people to raise their thumbs up for us that yes, we did well, despite the setback. We want to retrace our steps now and be able to make sure that Rivers State and Rivers people will ask us to stay in power after 4 years or after the remaining 2 years.
All right. Anyway, I want to say thank you to Dr. Jake Epelle. I understand that he needs to leave us now as we call for a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by in-house studio guest who's here with us, as well as Honorable Ordu, to continue this conversation, because we have other questions to ask. Recently, the local government polls were staged in the state, and APC got 20 out of the 23 local government polls. I wonder how that will impact on the governor's, governor in his governorship, especially Simeon Fubara's governorship. But let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still looking at River State as the return of Governor Siminalayi Fubara happens to be the big story right now. I mean, right before, while we're off break, we did see some information and messages as well. Questions have been asked concerning Siminalayi Fubara's return. Will there be a party celebration? Will there be champagnes being popped? And we've asked some of the very relevant questions here. So far, so good. But before then, just recently, while he was suspended, the local government polls did hold. And surprisingly, APC won 20 out of the 23 local government polls. Now, predominantly, we know that River State is usually a PDP state. When we say PDP, it means that, of course, they always come out at the top. They always win these elections. But then again, we've seen APC win the election of recent. I'm going to start off first with our guest who's here with us. Let's take your thoughts on the APC clearing, sweeping the polls, and what impact will this have on Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who equally initially had held a similar election, and then we saw a different political party win that same election. I think it was Zenith, if I'm right. They also won. They cleared the polls as well. And now we see APC winning. Also bearing in mind that there's an affiliation with the FCT minister and the current ruling party.
Yeah, thank you very much. On the day of that election, I was on this studio online monitoring the election with another guest from River State. And I want to tell you succinctly what the guest River State said while the election was going on. He said, and I quote, that this election, that APC has taken all the local government, there is only 3 local government that was allocated, I'm using his language, to PDP. That at the end of the day, the result will just be 3 PDP candidates and all other candidates APC. That was what he said that day while the election was going on, not after. And at the end of the day, when the results came, it was exactly what he predicted. So I stand here to say that there was no election, there was a selection. There was a selection in River State. Recall, that's what I've been saying. I'm not a politician, and I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just saying it the way it is. I don't have any political affiliation of any sort. Now, that day, while we were doing the analysis, he said that succinctly. And it resonates with me immediately after the result that what he was saying was perfectly correct. It was a selection process. Don't forget that when Fubara did his election, what they said was that he didn't declare the 90 days that was supposed to grace period that was supposed to be declared. That was why they cancelled that election. But this one, I don't think it was up to 30 days because even it was either Thursday or Friday preceding the election that a court in Rivers State or Bayelsa gave a go-ahead that that election can go ahead. Or that selection can go ahead because there was no election. As far as I'm concerned, there was no election, irrespective of what anybody is going to say.
Thank you very much, Professor Simeon Nnah. I believe it's time for us to bring in our correspondent, Bola Festus, who is live in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, to tell us, to give us updates. He's in front of Government House on proceedings there and the mood in Rivers State this morning. Good morning, Bola Festus.
Good morning to you. It's the new dawn for Rivers State. Democracy finally returns to the state today after 6 months of being locked down in emergency. Well, we're in front of the government house right now, and the scene here is that of jubilation, is that of a party setting. People are come, they've gathered to welcome the governor. It's expected to be back today in the state. So we have lots of people here. We have to move away from the noise because there are live bands playing right here and people are jubilating. So we just have to move away from that noise so we should have this live crossing. But as the camera pans, you can see people all over the place. There seem not to be restrictions today to the government house right here in Port Harcourt. So let's speak to one of the people who are here, one of those that have come here to welcome the governor back to the state. He is Gani Soba. He is an elite in Ogoni land. Come on, please. Thank you so much for waiting with me. Today is a new day, as we mentioned earlier. What is the fuel from your people? Because I saw your people with you earlier.
Today is the day of joy for the people of Rivers State and the people of Ordu. The common people are happy, but the government represent the common people. Because it's not just scandal, help in need, the people in need, in the poor people in Rivers State. And investment in Rivers State. In terms of security, in terms of regulation, the government is focusing on the people. So for the past 6 months, the people have been in that power on the dark days. We have been in pains because so today we appreciate the president of ending this emergency. So we are happy. We believe that the government has a lot of work to do. The Rivers State has been set back for 6 months. So the government has to work. The government has to work 24 hours. The government has to work 24 hours because a lot of things have gone bad in 6 months in Rivers State. So we believe that this is a new dawn.
Thank you so much, Gani Soba, for joining us. So there you have it. The governor has to work extra hours to fix the things that have gone wrong in the state, according to my guest right here. So the mood here is happy. People have been here from the early hours of the day and awaiting the arrival of the governor. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bola Festus. We can see just behind the celebration has started. We did mention that there will be celebrations and we're not in any way shocked that there is. But Bola, before we let you go, very quickly, because we have to come back to our guests, Honorable Ordu and Dr. Nnah, who's here with us. Can you share with us if you've spotted anybody from the lawmakers, the 27 lawmakers? Have you spotted either of them around, or the governor, anybody, or it's just plain people, supporters who have come out in troops or in numbers to celebrate?
Well, I have been moving around since we got here. We could also pan the camera for you to see. I haven't cited anybody from what used to be opposition, those that used to be on the camp of the FCT minister. Well, they said they have reconciled now. So I haven't cited any of them. Neither have I cited any member from the River State House of Assembly. All we're seeing here are Rivers people. Whom, for my own description, I will describe as ordinary people.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Willa Festus, for giving us an insight into what's happening in the Rivers State House, most importantly, the government house. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let me quickly speak with our guest, Honorable Ordu. Can you respond to the question I had asked earlier from the local government polls? APC now dominating, and you're a PDP member, or have you also pitched your tent with the APC?
Thank you very much. Before now, I told you that we in PDP, that we want to work hard to regain the confidence of Rivers people because of what has happened. I'm still in PDP. It's quite unfortunate that 20 local governments were snatched from us by the APC. We'll work harder now. You see, I don't know what may have caused it, whether it's the ripple in national or it is what people have perceived about us in the state that has made them vote APC up to.
Dr. Ordu, are you there? Okay. Go to network connectivity.
Because.
Okay, he's back. Go ahead, please.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, like I said it's very unfortunate that APC could snatch 20 local governments from us. It saddens our heart, and we will now sit down with the governor to chart a new course to be able to regain the confidence of Rivers people. We do not know if it is internal problems that caused that or it is the problem in the PDP, in the national. But for now, we will sit down to re-strategize. Rivers State has always been PDP. We will return Rivers State back. We'll make sure we recover those 20 local governments that has been taken away from us. So for my brother who said the election was a selection process, now another party has won. It is not. I don't understand how we try to look at issues in Nigeria. If PDP had won all the 23 local governments, now you will hear one report. Now another party has snatched our local governments from us. It is still a problem. I don't know what you can do in this world, let me not say this country, and be praised. A free and fair election. Then let me go into the legality of it. You recall that in the period
Honorable Ordu, because of wanton time, we might not be able to take that. I'll just use the last 1 minute that we have to allow Professor Simeon Nnah his final thoughts on this conversation. Thank you for your understanding. And now, Prof, just before we wrap up, what safeguards do we have as a democracy to prevent these sort of incidences from happening in the future? Unilateral declaration of a state of emergency. I learned that PDP governors took the case of Simeon Fubara to the courts, but the courts are yet to entertain it to prevent this sort of things from happening. What's the way forward? Your final thoughts, sir?
The way forward is for us to practice democracy the way it's supposed to be practiced. Like you rightly said, over 40 cases were in court on this issue, but the courts never lifted a finger. The court never lifted a finger on it. I don't know why they didn't even lift a finger on the issue, because under normal circumstances, what should have happened was that the courts would have made a declaration before this expiration. Let me quickly correct an impression. Dr. Epelle did not understand my drift. I never said there be no accountability. I have a finance background. So my belief is that the man has given an account to the president. So what we're trying to say here is that this peace is a peace in the graveyard. They know it. That if you now begin to talk of probe now, it's going to create a whole lot of problem again. I want to say succinctly that a criminal offense has no lifespan. So the next administration can come in and probe this man. He's still there. The accounts are still there. Any money that hits the bank can be traced to the last person that spent it. So my advocacy here is that for now, for this little peace to reign, every thought of probe now must be kept in the cooler. But the man must give account, and that will be later. Except they don't want this peace to last, because once they throw it up now, they're going to throw there'll be a lot of can of worms, and we'll go back to where we're coming from. So if we are looking for peace, then let's look for peace. I want to call a spade a spade.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nnah. And also thank you so much, Honorable Ordu and Dr. Epelle, who equally joined us. We'd like to wrap up this conversation now. Definitely, we'll continue to talk about it, hopefully tomorrow as well. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for your time.